Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. This is Rafat Arir from the Islamic University of Gaza. We continue our online sessions. We are almost closing the whole course. This is a review session 3 days before your final exam. Like I said on the Facebook group, please make sure you are ready for the final exam. It will be online. I'm not sure how many questions there will be. But I'm thinking of either 40 or 50 questions. So the exam is going to be either out of 40 or out of 50. If it is out of 40, there will be 40 questions, and they all are going to be multiple choice questions. In case we have 40 questions, you will have 30 minutes. So each question gets about 50 seconds, and there will be the exam will start at 9 and will finish at 9:30. So each student does the exam himself or herself. Again, the exam will be from the textbook itself, understanding and using English grammar. The questions, many of these questions I already used in my online classes and posted on Facebook group, and many of you answered the questions. I will be using these questions in the final exam. I will also use questions from your diaries. So I make sure you understand, you use English properly. And I will use questions from outside sources, such as the homework you're doing currently. And basically, they are taken from all the TOEFL exams. Now, today is the deadline for the final diary number 7. Please make sure you post the homework on Facebook and on Moodle. They must be posted on both platforms, but most importantly on Moodle. And tomorrow is the deadline for the homework. Please do the homework. I'm thinking of about 15, 20 marks for this. If you don't submit the homework, I'm not sure if you can pass this course. You can, the easiest way to submit the assignment is to post, to upload the file itself on Moodle, either as Word or PDF. Upload the file, do the answers on your computer, or I don't know if you can use your mobile easily. You don't have to do anything. The text is already horrible, the layout. So all you need to do is highlight with red the right answer or the wrong answer. Okay, so you don't add anything to the file. Just use a different color to answer the questions and to upload the file. Anyway, if you want to submit a hard copy, this is optional, totally optional. But if you have to, you bring a copy tomorrow to my office. I will not be in my office tomorrow, so you slip it from under the door, and I'll pick them on Monday. But you don't have to go there if you don't want to. Mashi. So homework, significant, important. Deadline is tomorrow. Can be easily submitted by uploading the file on Moodle, and then today's diary. Now, before I begin, I want to see if you have questions from the homework file I already gave you. Please ask.
Mr. Rafat.
Go on, Amr.
Yes, please.
Go on, Amr.
I have a question about the format. I uploaded all the questions in form of PDF.
Okay, good.
But I have the problem that the format changed as I had it in Word. So I tried to make it clearly, but if you see the PDF, you will see that the format is completely changing by me. I don't know, maybe because I'm using a German laptop.
No worries, no worries. As long as you answer the questions How did you answer the question? Did you?
It's also all red, in red marked. The questions, the answers are in red marked. In
Okay, خلاص.
yes.
Even if the layout changes a little bit, and I don't worry about that. I'll have to check your assignments today. If there's a problem, I'll give you a shout.
Yes, I have also the problem with the test. I show you a picture as I did the test. Now I had the same problem with Word. You know, the lines changed,
Yeah,
the
I know.
places
I'm
are
sorry about
changed.
this because the file itself is horrible originally. But again, like if you answer 90% of the questions, it's okay to me. And
Okay.
don't worry if you find one, two, even 20 questions that you can't you can't answer, or you don't know where the rest of the question is, or what is or is not underlined. So please don't worry. As long as you do like 90%, around 90% of the course, because you know this is like a long homework. All I need from you is to improve your English and get ready for the final exam. I really, really, really hope that you have, all of you have realized how significant this course is when it comes to making you use English properly, structure sentences properly, and build bigger paragraphs and bigger essays. If you look, I want all of you to go back to Diary 1 and see that the huge difference in just less than 2 months. See the difference between Diary 1 and Diary 7, and you will see that you are improving. Your English is improving. It's getting. This is what I care about. Okay, so if you have any like a 10% margin of error, I don't care, as long as you're working on your skills and improving and doing your best. So okay, if you have any question from the file, please tell me, or give me a phrase from a question.
And so
Like,
for me, I'm done.
okay, good,
I had no questions.
good, good, excellent. Afnan has already written something. Can you, Afnan, can you write something like 2 words from the question so I can look it up? Just for example, the first 2 words or the key word from the question. Anybody? Can you hear me, Afnan? There were, okay. Okay, is this the question? So there were federal laws regulating mining practices until 1872. If you look at this question, if you read it, when you read any question like this, you try just to make sure if there is something missing or not. If the subject is missing, if the verb is missing, if we have 2 subjects, if we have 2 verbs, if a connector is missing, if it is simple, if it is complex, if it is compound, you know, the sentence here is, the meaning is complete. The grammar is correct. Just something a little bit missing that's not going to change the grammar. I'm not sure if I told you, I think this before. We use no to make negative, to make nouns negative. We use not to make verbs negative. So here it says, there were no federal laws. If you use nor, you know, nor can be neither nor, or you use nor in the middle of a sentence, compound sentence, you know, remember, with a negative, we are not going to visit, nor are we going to send a gift. If you use not, there weren't any federal laws. Okay, so the answer is no, there were no federal laws. Any more questions? We use no Again, because we change the noun into negative. We say there were no books. So if you want to make nouns negative, you use no. So that's the big major difference between no and not. You say I can't travel. So here you make travel the verb negative. You say not, I can't travel. But if you want to make, if a sentence is I have friends, you say I have no friends. So because friends is noun, you use no for negative. Okay. 11, which same one, same page. Okay. Many communities, okay, this is number 11. Many communities are dependent on groundwater. If you look at this question, again, try to see how things go, where we have the subject, the verb, the clause, the phrase. Many communities are dependent on groundwater. So far, this is a full sentence. العديد من المجتمعات تعتمد على مياه الايه؟ مياه الاندرجراوند ووتر، مياه الجوفية. اكتملت المعنى. But here we have something to be added there. From wells had a prepositional phrase for their water supply, and yet another phrase. So there is another phrase we want to add, to attach, or another clause. That obtained, obtained, is obtained, obtained. Look at this. Number one, remember, working by elimination. If you use C, it's wrong. Here we have a full sentence, subject and verb. If you want to attach another clause, remember, we need subject, verb, and connector. If you want to add another phrase, no subject, no verb, sometimes no connector. So if you use is obtained, where is the subject for is? For this passive, there's no subject, so it's wrong. Obtain it, still there is a verb, but there is no subject. Obtain it. Who obtains it, or what obtains it? Now that obtained, now the rest of the sentence here modifies and describes the groundwater. بيصف المياه الجوفية هذه. obtain معناه يحصل على، يحصل. يعني القصد الجملة بعض المجتمعات تعتمد على، بالمناسبة you don't have to understand the meaning of the sentence sometimes to answer correctly. مجتمعات تعتمد على المياه الجوفية التي يتم الحصول عليها. فهن في عندنا passive التي يتم الحصول عليها من هن ويلز معناها بئر آبار بئر from wells من الآبار or their water supply. فالتي يحصل عليها هن الأصل which is obtained أو that is obtained. الجملة إيه خطأ لأنه ما فيها الverb لسه، حط لي فاعل وما حط لي فاعل. There is a subject, there is no verb. So groundwater which is obtained. Remember, we can change a clause into a phrase by deleting the subject and the verb to be. Remember, if there is no verb to be, we add ing to the infinitive, to the base form of the verb. So groundwater, here it's passive. Passive, usually there is a verb to be, we delete the verb to be. So the right answer is D. Groundwater obtained from wells for their water supply. Obtained, yani which is obtained. Again, originally it's which is obtained. Which فاعل is فاعل. When we delete which is, it becomes a modifying phrase. The clause becomes a modifying phrase.
Mr. Rifat, I have a question.
Go on.
I have a little problem between that obtained and obtained, because once you say that that would be optional or that is optional. So I have the problem.
Wait a minute, what did I say?
That in some of the classes was that optional.
Yeah, but not here. Here, that is the subject. So it's not optional. It can be optional when it is object.
Okay. And I have a question about no, the Ilya question. I heard in some movies or something like that, they say he is no longer a friend.
Yeah, no longer.
No longer is also right?
No,
grammatically?
Yeah, no longer is a very famous question, very famous for expression. You say, he is no longer my friend.
Okay.
What's wrong with somebody? You say, he is no longer a friend. أو I no longer talk to him. لم يعد صديقي، لم أعد أتحدث معه. I no longer, why aren't you on Facebook these days? You say, I no longer use social media. Or you say, social media is no longer my cup of tea or my cup of coffee. Yeah, you use no longer.
Okay,
Next,
thank you.
Any other question? Same question 15. Are you stuck with this, Afnan? Are you stuck with this? Okay. Well, you have 3 questions in one page. That must be something. Type. Okay. Remember, you first read the question without looking at the choices. So you can tell whether something is missing or not. Experimental studies of the aging process. This is unclear. Psychologist Ross McFarland determined. So this is a subject, and this is the verb, determined that people could work productively much longer than had previously been thought. Okay, so this is a complete sentence. Psychologist Ross McFarland determined that people could work productively much longer than previously had been thought. Now, with this sentence, to add this, to modify, to describe, to tell more about this man and his study, experimental studies of the aging process. What do you do? If you add since, remember, since is a connector. It has to be followed with a subject and a verb. It's a subordinator. It should be since he has been engaged in experimental studies. So C is wrong. In that, or into is also wrong, because into experimental, there's فيش حاجة اسمها into experimental studies. In that, I don't know, in that I've never used in that in this structure. The issue here is that he's talking about his studies he did, and studies that made him realize that we can work productively much longer than had previously been thought. So the answer is B, through experimental studies of the aging process. Through, this is all prepositional phrase. وبالعربي مش بعيدة يعني، من خلال دراسات التجريبية لعملية الشيخوخة أو الكبر, psychologist Ross McFarland determined. So this is all a prepositional phrase. If you delete it, it's not going to impact the sentence, the grammar of the sentence. Through is a preposition, it's not a connector. More quickly. Do you have more questions? Do you want me to show you the questions I already prepared? Go on, Aya. Okay, last question of the whole thing here. Number 1, which one? This one. السؤال المتخبي في آخر صفحة اللي بعضكم ما حلهوش.
Yes.
This one.
Yes, doctor.
مين ما حلوش؟ في ناس من اللي سلموا الواجب ما حلوش السؤال هذا، ما شافوهوش عشان هيك متخبي لحاله. شايفين كيف؟ It's hiding. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I told you if you answer 90% of the questions, it's good. But before when you look at the question, remember there are things you have to spot on the spot. Things that would send signals like, wait a minute, there's something here, there's something here. So rarely, remember we said if we begin with negative expressions, negative adverbs
Have to be in question form.
rarely, hardly, barely, scarcely, not only, not until, under no circumstances, remember?
Yeah.
More. So there has to be a subject verb inversion. The auxiliary verb has to be before the subject. So number one, we exclude A and B. ولا لا؟
A and B. Yeah.
Eliminate A and B because there's no auxiliary verb before the sorry.
Yeah.
Where is the trick? There is a trick in this question. That the word spotted is an adjective here. Spotted يعني السلحفاة المرقعة المنقطة اللي عليها خطط هيك. It's an adjective. So rarely have spotted turtles seen far from water ولا rarely are spotted turtles seen far from water. مين اللي قال the answer is B؟ ولا عمرها كانت the answer is B. A and B are wrong because
I thought R.
C or D.
Passive. Yeah.
طب كمان مرة سؤال. Is this a passive statement or an active statement?
I think passive.
طب السؤال احنا بنتكلم عن السلحفاة هي اللي بترى ولا الناس اللي بتشوف السلحفاة؟
we see.
السؤال بيقول لك انه قلما انه هذه السلحفاة المنقطة ترى بعيدا عن المياه. It's passive. والباسيف يا آلاء مش عارف مين اللي كتب سي. الباسيف بيستخدمش الفيرب تو هاف، بيستخدم الفيرب تو بي. هذا السؤال في موضوعين درسناهم the passive and the subject verb inversion. So the answer is definitely D. Rarely are spotted turtles seen far from water.
No, thanks, Doctor.
غيره؟ More questions? طيب عشان الوقت I'll show you some of the questions I prepared. Let me just upload the بيقولوا لنا ضيعنا 10 دقائق. Anyway, so these are important questions that you need to consider. They're similar to the ones you had in the previous quiz. Prized for centuries for their beauty. طلعوا على الجمل هذه يا جماعة this is a reduced clause. أصل الجملة because they are prized أو because roses are prized. تماما زي ما أقول مثلا أنا هيا established in 1978 established the Islamic University of Gaza. Islamic University of Gaza. Remember, when you reduce, make sure that you have the same subject in both clauses. Is the biggest, is the oldest, it's not the biggest actually, in Gaza Strip. Originally, the sentence is because it was established in 1978. So you delete it, you delete the verb to be, and sometimes you delete the connector. So prized for centuries for their beauty, roses are probably the world's plants. The world's plants. لاحظ هالكلمات they are all the same. They are all the same. ولا لا? Cultivated, ornamental, most widely, most cultivated widely. Now, we talk about word order. In the sentence, we have the noun. You use an adjective to describe the noun. مظبوط. we use an adverb to describe the adjective. We use another adverb to describe the adverb. So this is the word order. Adverb, we have noun, adjective, noun, adverb, adjective, noun, adverb, adverb, adjective, noun. بنقول احنا مثلا the previous point, noun, the mentioned, sorry, you said the point, the mentioned point. So the point noun, the mentioned point, adjective, noun. You add an adverb, say the previously, adverb, mentioned, adjective, noun. Or point, sorry, which is a noun. So noun, adjective, noun, adverb, adjective, noun, adverb, adverb, adjective, noun. So the answer is the world's most widely cultivated ornamental plants. احنا بنقول most cultivated او حاجه ornamental plants يعني نباتات زينه. Cultivated ornamental plants, most widely cultivated ornamental plants. Here we have adverb, adjective, adjective, and noun. Here we have double adjectives. So the answer is C. Now look at this question quickly. With more than half the world's annual yield of 50 million tons of soybeans, an important source of protein is grown in the United States of America. This is a tricky question. Okay, we have is grown is the verb, مظبوط. Where is the subject?
False.
Where's the subject? Where's the subject? Subject, subject. Listen, there is no subject in this sentence. That's why there's something wrong. In English, if you use a preposition before the noun, it's no longer a subject. You say with his hand. خلاص, his hand is not a subject, it's an object for with. He hit the ball. This is correct. You don't say with his hand hit the ball. This sentence is wrong because hit is the verb. There is no subject for this. With his, this is prepositional. دائما يا جماعة أي حاجة تسبقها حرف الجر بتصير لا محل من الإعراب. ملهاش دور, ملهاش grammatical role in English. So the problem is here with. الآن هيك بتصير صح. More than half of the world's annual yield of 50 million tons of soy, an important source of protein, which is an important source of protein, is grown. So the problem was with number A. Most doctors of the colonial period believed was caused by an imbalance of humors in the body. Believed in disease, ممكن believed in disease, believe in حرف الجر معها، لكن هنا حصل structure believed in disease was بزبطش نفس الشيء. لو قلنا in disease was بينفعش مرة بس عشان القاعدة بينفعش disease تكون فاعل لواز وهي مجرورة. إذا كانت مجرورة it doesn't work as another subject. So believed that B is the right answer. Believe that disease was caused by imbalance. Domesticated grapes grow in clusters, range in color from pale green to black, and contain sugar in varying quantities. الجملة هيك مستقرة كاملة. Domesticated grapes العنب المحلي grow in clusters, range in color, and contain. بدنا نجيب شيء، انتبهوا للكومة دائما، الكومة بتسكيه. بدنا نجيب شيء يعمل هذا الشيء صح. Their botanical classification as barriers هذه فاعل ما فيش فيها فعل. Although their botanical classification as barriers، انتبهوا لما يكون عندنا although بدي يكون عندنا فاعل وفعل. There is subject, there is no verb. Because berries being their botanical classification, برضه there is a subject but there is no verb. D is the right answer. Classified botanically as berries. نفس القضية الجملة تقول لنا established in 1978 the Islamic University. كان أصل الجملة إيش؟ Because they are classified botanically as berries, domesticated grapes grow in clusters. هذا السؤال مهم. When to dough العجين and heated carbon dioxide is released causing the dough to rise. انتبه احنا ما فيش سؤال هان علامة سؤال فما تحط لي subject verb inversion بعد when. يعني when is added و when is baking التنتين خطأ. When added baking powder is ترتيب الكلام الجمل غلط. When baking powder subject is added verb to dough and heated carbon dioxide is released. D is the right answer. طب يلا بسرعة هذا عشان الوقت معنا دقيقتين. شوف nova subject means new عندي كوما. novas are actually stars. هي كمان فعل وفاعل. بدي أنا أداة ربط subordinator في البداية. إذا قطع الفيديو خلاص يعطيكم العافية. بحط لكم الملف الوورد على المجموعة تحلوا الأسئلة وتسألوني إذا في مشاكل. مين يجاوب لي هذه بسرعة 7؟ although exactly. لأنه صار عندي هان two clauses they need a connector because the comma doesn't connect. The only connector here is although. that بينفعش تذكروا that قصتها واي كيف بنبدأ. طب هذا مهم. هذا حيجي كثير أسئلة عليه. 8. Bubbles, flows, and other irregularities diffuse the light that passes through stained glass. Which making بزبطش هان which making لأنه أنا حاذف الفعل ومش حاذف الفاعل. And making ما في إشي عاطف أقول أنا studying
making I guess. See.
To making بزبطش. أصل الجملة هي إيش؟ which through glass which makes حذفنا which حولنا makes لجيران صارت إيش؟ making. يعني لو عندي خيارات أخرى في الحالة هذه صحيحة بتكون that makes أو which makes. إنما لها reduction. طب يلا بسرعة هذه. حيقطع في أي لحظة الآن. طبعا carries verb. We need a subject.
I guess just A.
A is
just
the